Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back after a little bit of an elongated break. We're heading back in towards our second game of the day. We've got Kazakhstan taking on Uzbekistan in a bit of a clash of titans here in the Central Asia side of things. I mean, these two sides are touted as the absolute favorites here. Both of them are flawless so far. Kazakhstan find themselves 3-0 in their opening games. And I mean, Anders, they've only dropped 7 rounds. It's been pretty good.
It's not been bad. Really fun. This is the game that we're looking forward to. I definitely think this is going to be a fun game. I know that you're on the Uzbekistan side. I feel like I've got to be on the Kazakhstani side just for some balance. They did play very well. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, they're a country, a region with an enormous history with Counter-Strike. So I'm excited for this game. It is a best of 1. I almost wish it was a best of 3 just for the fun of it. But either way, we're going to get a chance to see how these two teams fare up against each other.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I love this Uzbekistan side, but I have to be honest, I actually think Kazakhstan are the better team here individually. I mean, they are a team. Okay. I think that's the biggest difference. I look at, when I'm trying to prioritize these sort of matchups, I do always have to hold that little kind of grain of salt in the sense of this is a mix towards Uzbekistan where Kazakhstan are an organization. They are tall. They used to be a vanguard. They're the core of them. They've played together for a long time. They know each other very well. So they have just a little bit of a deeper strap who executes all of the rest. Uzbekistan, I think they've got a lot of talent on this team. You know, IESF, somebody who known for a while. DSSJ is all very talented AWPer. However, I just think you kind of got to back the team over the individuals sometimes. And this might be a prime example of it. This Kazakhstan side looked pretty damn scary where, at least even yesterday, Uzbekistan against Tajikistan, it was a little bit harder fought than I think we probably expected.
Surprisingly so. I mean, but on the other hand, though, I've got to be honest. Like we got the interview with one of the players from Uzbekistan yesterday. Pfizer was it? And it just felt like they were very confident. I feel like they knew what they were doing. They weren't really worried at all. The Kazakhstan, there was the Kazakhstan we were interviewing, was it? Did we get to talk to Uzbekistan? I was just making that up. Regardless, we did.
We spoke to Saka.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That was the one we were talking about. Yeah, he was confident. You're right. Yeah, thanks for helping me out. But yeah, I think this team looked really interesting. Again, Pumpkin was the standout player for me. But just in general, they had a really solid lineup. It was fun to see.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, this is a really cool team. I think, a lot of these guys have been around for a while now. Kazakhstan's a region that do like to compete within some of the kind of more tier 2 European tournaments. They do have slightly higher ping, but all in all, they're a pretty cool region that produces a lot of decent talent. They have over the years. Traditionally, they play with CIS teams, and they've been doing pretty damn well. So this Kazakhstan team, I'm a big fan of. They've got a lot of decent names. Pumpkin, the guy you mentioned, 17 years of age, a really talented AWPer. He's somebody that a lot of people have been kind of keeping their eyes on, it, from my understanding, within kind of that CIS Russian-speaking sort of region. He's a very good player. So I'm going to keep an eye on him for sure. Defies has been around for a hell of a long time as well. So a very talented guy in himself. Let's take a look at Uzbekistan on the other side. This side are pretty damn cool in terms of the individuals. But like we said, though, they're more of a mix. All 5 of them play on different teams. So it's not exactly like they're going to have as much experience playing together. Seka, of course, is the experience in this team. He's turning 31 actually this month, I was told yesterday. The guy who I knew back from doing my research and stuff and playing Storm Uzbekistan. I actually spoke to their CEO and manager yesterday, as he said, basically thank you for remembering them. Big shout out Storm Uzbekistan. They're like an old school Uzbekistan team, one of the first ones who really kind of made a name for themselves. But then the 3 guys I look towards in this team for me, DSSJ, really talented AWPer, has been around for a while. Ryujin, another guy who's been putting up decent numbers under 1 win, a very decent tier 2 team. And then ICVern, of course. We called him in Yash last year, but now we joined Force Reload, who are Force's Academy side. And I mean, they're putting a lot of faith in them, right? Signed to a big Russian organization.
Yeah, so they got the experience. They definitely have some of the talent in that squad. I think it's an interesting lineup for sure, and the confidence that we talked about in the interview there, that made me believe, all right, these guys are not going to be scared of Kazakhstan at all. So hopefully it's going to be one hell of a game. I look forward to it. Yeah, so wait. So I thought you were solidly on the Uzbekistan side. If you had to make a guess for this best of 1, or will it come down to the map? You think that's going to make a big difference here?
I think it will. I think I'm actually still going to lean Kazakhstan just in the sense of the team. I always like to back teams over individuals. However, I do like the individuals towards Uzbekistan. I think if they're going to win this, it's going to require, a real pop-off, basically, from one of these individuals. Look, primarily a DSSJ, Ryujin, or primarily IESF had a really good map yesterday. It's going to require one of them getting, upper 20s towards the 30 bomb, I think, in my opinion, to make this a possibility. I think for me, from what we saw of Kazakhstan yesterday, they just look so clean. And I think that's the big thing for me. So I think they're probably the favorites coming in towards this one. But I'm still expecting a pretty competitive game.
In that sense, maybe it's maybe it's a good thing there's a best of one here for the Uzbekistan side, right? If you're a little bit of an underdog, then it could help. You're playing MR12, you get to win like a couple of pistol rounds. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that'll bring you through. So maybe it could work to their advantage. But I definitely think this is going to be an interesting matchup. I want to see more of Pumpkin opening with, and it may be especially against harder opposition. Because it's one thing beating a team that you're probably meant to be beating, but it's another thing seeing if you can do it against, tougher opposition. And I think that's going to be true today. So I'm going to be watching for that to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be an interesting one. I think that kind of battle as well, the AWPers should be something I'm going to keep an eye on too. I look at basically what Ryujin can do, what the likes of DSSJ can do. Seka used to AWP way back in the day as well, so maybe he tries to pick it up. But in particular, DSSJ against Pumpkin, both kind of too young, quite aggro style of AWPers as well. So I want to see how they kind of head-to-head against each other. The rifling core over towards Kazakhstan maybe doesn't have the star value the way maybe someone like an Icy Flone does, but they're very consistent. And that, I think, for me, is something that you've got to keep your eyes on. It's one of those things we saw yesterday. Icy Flone was still popping off, but they did struggle a little bit against Tajikistan. So who knows? It's a bit of a tough one to call coming into this, but I think I'm gonna just about lean in favor of Kazakhstan. But something you mentioned, I think the veto is quite important when we get towards that. There's a couple of different ways you want to go about this. If you're Kazakhstan, you have a much deeper and fleshed out map pool because you are an organization, you're a team. They play under the org called Tor, so they have a lot of different ways they can go. It is going to be Inferno where we head. And do you know what? Again, I don't hate this pick. This is a very solid map for Kazakhstan, or quote unquote Tor, right? This is a map in which they play a lot. They like to pick into it a lot as well. So it's a very confident one for them. And you can see as well with some of these bans where, at least for Kazakhstan, it's just about making sure that they don't have any really kind of gimmicky maps out the way. Getting rid of a Dust 2, I think, is quite smart. Getting rid of a Nuke, which is not a great map for them statistically. These are smart bans coming through. Uzbekistan, their Mirage yesterday looked a little shaky, so they actually are going to be the ones to ban it out.
So Inferno it is, the battleground for the best of one to decide who's going to be the better team. I think that's quite exciting. I don't know if I can sort of pull a little away from it. I still kind of just want to back the Kazakhstan side, but I guess thinking the best of one, it's still, if I had to give like a percentage, I would say like a 60-40 type thing. I don't feel super confident about anything here, but I'll give a little bit of an advantage to Kazakhstan in this game. But I don't think it's hard to come down solidly on one side.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this is one of those things, because it's the best of one. We always say it, all the way up into kind of the top tier one level, we see best of ones. A lot of those kind of IEMs, for example, the majors, they start with best of ones in the opening round. That is prime time for upsets, right? That's where we see teams who maybe nobody really expects to do anything come through and actually make something of this. So I look at this best of one and say, well, Kazakhstan I would revere as the favorites coming towards this one. Uzbekistan, all it takes is one little pop-up or something. Who knows? So it's interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good game. The main thing is, though, we were looking at the Southeast Asia side of things, and that one was there was the potential of a three-way split and all of the rest. Just to update those maybe who stuck around for that, that's no longer an issue. Malaysia won 16-7 map 1, 13-7 map 1, 13-6 map 2.
Nice.
So they 2-0'd that one. They've qualified. They went flawless on the qualifier. So they will be the representative from Southeast Asia, which is pretty sick. But there was the potential of a three-way tie. Here, I don't think it's possible. I think Kazakhstan are more or less already guaranteed. I think even if they lose, they're guaranteed to go through. And Uzbekistan, even if they are to lose, they've got a game just after this. And it's one in which they should be absolutely fine with. It's Kyrgyzstan, who they lost 13-6 to Kazakhstan. It was a little bit better than maybe some of the other teams, but I don't think Kyrgyzstan maybe have enough to be able to compete with Uzbekistan. Not from what I've kind of seen of the one demo I watched.
Okay, yeah, so could be in the cards either way. It was nicely done from Malaysia. That's pretty cool to hear. Get to get a little bit of an update from that side of the region. But over here at the Central Asian qualifier, I think this is these two countries really have sort of pulled ahead for what we've seen so far. And again, it makes sense. They have a long history. A lot of sort of, proud players have come from there. So I'm not too surprised that we're seeing, again, this carry on into the future. We talked about it a little bit last time, but like all the way back in the 1.6, how we had players coming, especially from Kazakhstan. So they know how to play Counter-Strike down there, and we'll see if they can muster the same fury today on Inferno for best of one. So yeah, one chance. Now, the best of ones are scary. There's no question about it. For anyone that's been watching Counter-Strike for a while, you know that it doesn't take that much. You win both pistol rounds. You are maybe not quite half the way there, but you're getting close to a good start, if nothing else. So yeah, we'll see if that's going to be a factor here. IESF, he definitely was, like you said, the standout player for the squad. So they probably need him. I think he actually, funnily enough, I think he had kind of a slow start to the game, but when he caught up, he was just so quick that it didn't really matter at all. But I feel like in best of ones, there no slow starts can be allowed, right? You need to keep going.
Yeah, he was, I think at one point he was like 1-7 or like 1-6, something like that. And then we were kind of saying, eesh, that they kind of need him a little bit. And then, hey, fair play. He absolutely stepped up. So, I can't really complain really at all. But, yeah, they are going to need him coming towards this. I mean, so for Uzbekistan, the big thing is they're 2-0 currently, which is fine. Maybe a little bit harder for than they probably would have hoped for against Tajikistan. But generally speaking, all they care is they've got the wins. There's still a positive round differential. The closest team to them is Kyrgyzstan, who they're actually playing next. Kyrgyzstan simultaneously are going to be playing Tajikistan. So, in all fairness, that Uzbekistan-Kyrgyzstan game might not matter if Tajikistan pick up the win. If Kyrgyzstan win, they do actually put a little bit of pressure. It makes that final sort of best of one there really important. It makes it basically the qualification of who's going to be the team to make it through. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'll be definitely looking at that on the second monitor, keeping an eye on the match page, because if the Tajikistan are able to pick up a win there, it doesn't matter. If Kyrgyzstan win, though, it makes that best of one, the final one of the day, very, very important. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on what's happening over on that side. I do believe the game is just about to be ready, so hopefully we'll get back into it pretty soon. They're all on the server and just kind of getting warmed up into it. So, yeah, Inferno's a map that we've been seeing quite a bit from the region. They seem to just enjoy playing it. No one's shying away from it. So, that's good, though. I mean, I think, they probably play each other regionally as well. So I think it means everyone's going to be feeling somewhat confident on the map, which, again, like you need to get started off very, very well. Something that we saw earlier was like a fair bit of aggression, really, on a map like Inferno. People like to fight in the middle. They stay active. So curious to see if there's going to be more respect between these two teams, if they're going to be shying away from some of those early fights, or if it'll be the same level of aggression. We'll find out.
True. I'm interested to see I think for Uzbekistan, I'd be very surprised if they come into this tentative. They were so confident in that interview yesterday. I think the way they're probably going to approach this is very puggy, try and basically just rely off the individuals, try and basically play this as if it's kind of like an FPL game and whatnot, and be hyper aggressive and sort of all the rest, because what we've seen so far from them, that's kind of where they do a lot of their best work. When they slow things down, when they try and play these defaults, it's not always the easiest. But we are about ready to get going, ladies and gents. We are live. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, a best of one here on Inferno. Kazakhstan start on that T side. Uzbekistan start on the CT side.
Did I just see a Zeus on IESF at the start? Did he really just like set up to try and stun someone at the pistol round? I think he still is. That's crazy if that's the case. But yeah, we are going to get into it here. It looks like we'll have all 5 members of the Kazakhstan side headed towards the B bomb site, where there's only one set of dualies here on Saka. So I don't know. That's not going to be easy to hold. Even if the dualies are pretty good, that is a lot to ask for. But he's on top of the boxes, ready and waiting as they come around the corner. That smoke is going to be fading. There's smoke towards CT spawn, so he knows. But at the same time, look at the flank coming in. It's DSSJ coming in with a one-shot, and Saka, he's alive for one of them. But look at how quick the flank is. They're in trouble. That's the bomb on the ground.
Oh no, wow. Tapping away. Oh my God, it's a little bit messy. Tapping can answer back though, but not going to make a difference. It's Uzbekistan who start well. Big flank coming through, and no bomb plan as well out from Kazakhstan means that this is a round which they really can't get anything to kind of walk away with. And we look at this now and say, Uzbekistan on the CT side, that's as good as it gets. You get the round, you deny the bomb plan, you only take a couple of casualties as well. Means you can buy in towards this very comfortably, and it means Kazakhstan, if they force, they're not really going to bring anything to the table. If they don't opt to force and they go for a little bit of an eco, it's a freebie. So both both ways, it's a pretty easy sort of situation for Uzbekistan. It's a very good start.
Yeah, I love that. It was a very dramatic start because the way that he was playing alone over on that side, Seka, he could have easily been overrun, but it's worked out. Push down. Oh, the smoke right in front. There's 3 people inside. Could be the perfect moment to have an MP9 if he actually keeps it out. They're going to be walking around the corner, instant kill, and looking to spray them down. He's got some backup as well. The SMG is doing excellent work here to line up the kills. Just 1 player left, and it's going to be surely an easy job getting rid of him. So he's being a bit of a nuisance, but they're hunting him down.
Well, there we go. Nice and easy. No casualties. Make sure the pistols can't do anything. Kazakhstan first buy, though. This is the one that matters most. We look at this, and it has to be something that finds some success early doors. Uzbekistan are a side that I think, at least for my money, the way I look at it, if Uzbekistan can spiral, I think they're a very momentum sort of heavy side. If they spiral well, that's where Kazakhstan might struggle just a little bit, but
true.
We'll have to wait and see. MP9s is kind of the quote-unquote bonus buy, bar the fact that the SSJ has the AWP. So, little rogue. You got 3 MP9s and an AWP, hoping that the SSJ can do a lot of the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, for now, big stack towards the B bomb site here for Uzbekistan. They're keeping 3 people on this side, which is super unusual, right? Normally, if you do this, you just you go from the beginning, maybe try and take control of Banana, but you don't normally stick around for this long with it. So this could be a big surprise for Kazakhstan, honestly. They might walk around the corner just not knowing. Also, the AWP is there, so that's how they get the first kill. What a shocking start to this round.
Fall away as well. The MP9 doesn't actually need to play up close. Smoke down too. Not bad. To slow Kazakhstan down. They've got the opening double kill there. They've got the man advantage, and it's not an easy spot here for Kazakhstan. They have to try and make this one work back in their favor. The only thing they've got as a bit of a benefit is the util. Double smoke and molly, flash and a nade. Got to be utilized well, though. They've kind of gambled on this well.
And they're running the clock down very low, aren't they? 30 seconds. I mean, 1 mistake here and you're going to get blocked out. There's still 4 Molotovs left on the CT side. So with 20 seconds left, even one of those grenades could potentially screw up the whole round. There's a little bit of one. There's the grenade going down to the incendiary, really blocking them in. There's only 15 seconds here. And I think panic is starting to break out a little bit. You can see on the Kazakhstan side, they're not quite ready for this. And look at it, 8 seconds on the clock as they try and wrap around. They're going to get the 1 kill, but 5 seconds left as they try and plant the bomb. They're not going to be allowed to just... And so much utility on the CT side here. Great job for Uzbekistan.
Yeah, honestly, really decent work. I mean, Uzbekistan are looking clean. We said a lot of this is going to come down to individuals, and so far they're popping off, right? I mean, the SSJ 6-0 with the AWP, but I think the util there was really solid. You know, we're seeing that player out in towards library. All he's doing is just betting in attention. A little bit of a tap with the MP9, but the big thing he does is gets that Molotov down, stops them wrapping on towards the A site. If Kazakhstan are given the A site, even though they don't have the numbers, they can set up a post plant. The fact that they're not given that luxury is the big thing. So, nothing gained for Kazakhstan. No bomb plant again for them means no buy here. And 3-0 start, just pistols, you'd expect should be made 4.
And again, we're playing a best of 1. So starting up 4-0 in your favor is obviously huge. Double grenade towards the arch side of middle, but there's nobody there. So just all it really does is alert the CTs that someone is coming. Region coming up with some very, very good shots with the M4. Even going to get a 3rd one in there, leaving Tasman on his own. And there's nothing to do. You can play around with the Tech 9 here, but the CTs are locked in fairly comfortably. And that's the 4-0 lead that they were looking for.
Yeah. Easy stuff. Nice and simple. Uzbekistan, as CT sides go so far, not a lot that we can really complain about. This has been pretty damn good. I'm getting a little concerned. Kazakhstan don't look as scary maybe as they did yesterday. And there's there's not been a hell of a lot to say in terms of a positive note. I mean, you've got kind of one guy, Tasman, on 3 kills, and the rest 0-1, 0-1. I mean, there really isn't a lot to talk about. Even Pumpkin, the guy who was so good yesterday, is struggling to have any sort of impact, with the AWP on the other side is running riot. 4-0. Back into a bye. Makes you wonder as well, Anders. I feel like if they can't take this one, they're really going to be in trouble.
Yeah, this is one of those do-or-die rounds, and they've already taken a fair bit of damage, although so did Uzbekistan there with a grenade on top. So, yeah, another grenade actually chasing them down. So that three-man B setup, which, again, it is risky. If Kazakhstan realize what's going on and they go really quick at the A-bomb site, you could find yourself in a weird position. But now they're doing what you normally do, which is they fall back. The SSJ has been called back towards the library, so now they have a more traditional 2-3 split on the defense. Kazakhstan still trying to find out what's going on. They'll find out by killing IESF. That's a very nice start to the round here for Kazakhstan, and they absolutely need to keep this going.
Black Magic, having a look. Might get caught on a timing play. He's lining up to drop down, and Eugene doesn't spot. He doesn't look that way. He did the silent drop, in all fairness, so Eugene has no clue, and it might actually cost him his life. Wow. Timing is just about keeping at least one of these two alive. I don't know which one just yet. Smoke inside the front B, 30 seconds. They've got to go soon here.
Yeah, they're all in. Double smoke going up. Molotov down towards the back of the site. Nice headshot right through. Second never stood a chance. That's unfortunate. 20 seconds left, and with the AWP in the background, they still don't know about the AK that's up close. My God, the defense is holding. That is magnificent for Uzbekistan. Just one player left, and the clock is going to beat him. It's 1 versus 3 with 10 seconds. It can't be one at this stage. I'm so shocked. They had everything down. They had the Molotovs, the smokes. They had all the pressure on the bomb site they needed, but somehow between and DSSJ, it's just too much. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nicely done. Really, really lovely stuff. 5-0. Kazakhstan, they can't seem to even really scratch the surface here. It's another round in which there's no bomb plant. And right saying they yet to even get one this entire map. So it's a tough old spot that they kind of put themselves in. We're looking at this and saying, if Kazakhstan don't get around in the next 2 to 3, I'm probably talking about them maybe already having to kind of open the door about too little too late in that kind of conversation. This is tough. Very tough. 1 AK is all they've got to work with for 4 keys, and a couple of Eagles that hope try and make something work, but usually gets caught. So at the very least, the hero AK, living up to the name slightly to start things off. Icy Flown wants to answer back. He might just creep on the corner. Oh, we'll get a nice quick shot. The SSJ finds one. Icy Flown looking for a peek himself. Rips ahead looking for more, but he just has too many battles to fight, and he falls flat.
All right, so they're getting some damage into this round, if nothing else. Stealing another rifle. See, the SSJ unable to get the flick on one of them, and now the bomb's being planted. So huge success so far for Kazakhstan in a round that they absolutely need to have some victory on here. Molotov to force back the CT, slow them down before they even try and go for the retake. They do have kits, obviously, to play with. No real surprise there, but can they get through to the site? Good little incendiary to put some pressure on Defizer. They know there's a guy. They absolutely know that there's someone in the pit there. They just can't really find the shot. A long spray coming in, but it'll get the job done. And now some counter flashes are coming out. Are they going to try and... Actually, might have been a friendly flash there. Still, the pit play works out for Black Magic. He's going to get the Deagle shot. And Kazakhstan will pick up the round. And it's about time as well.
Yeah, a bit of a team flash down towards Defizer, which very nearly might have cost them the side, but I think this wasn't enough time, fundamentally speaking. So Kazakhstan going to find their first round. Good work to finally get something to work with. However, we kind of talk about something that we spoke, in our previous series. You spoke about a bit yesterday as well. The way I look at this, it doesn't matter. If this is a flash in the pan, if there's no consistency, there's no consecutive rounds on the board, it's not really going to make too much of a dent in the confidence over towards Uzbekistan. They do have a buy back in, but if Kazakhstan go 2 for 2 here, that's where they're going to break the economy over towards the CT side. And that's where maybe there is a chance to work it. That's the main thing I'm looking at. They don't, however, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, it comes down to this, doesn't it? Bit of an angle with the AWP. Oh, that does not work out for them up in the A hallways there. Double setup, and they just get completely blown open. So 3 versus 5 to begin with here. And the question is, if you're Uzbekistan, you could make a decision now to say, you know what, actually, let's just save what we got. Let's stack a bomb site with 3 people and try and stay alive. or you could try and fight for it, but it's very risky. They don't have that much money in the bank. So I'd probably go for a 3-man stack at A or B, flip a coin and pick one of the bomb sites. But I feel like this kind of a split here is not going to be working out.
Oh.
It's a wide swing.
45 seconds. Yeah, no information gained here. Long shot going to come through. Hey, is Baron. I think the fact that you already see them pulling away here, I think it's going to be a save call. And it's going to keep all 3 over towards B, and they're going to reset in towards the next. At least with 3 staying alive, though, you can rebuy back in. That is if they stay alive. They might even call for a hunt a little bit, Kazakhstan.
This just makes so much sense to me. I don't see why you wouldn't try and go for something like this. It's just a better call. Save the guns. You already have such a big lead if you're Uzbekistan, right? It's going to be 5-2. So you don't have to panic about giving them a round like this one. And it also means you're going to be staying dangerous into the next one. So I respect the fact that they went for this choice here. But good job on Kazakhstan nonetheless. I mean, this is obviously is a nice little recovery for them. The game was kind of slipping out of their hands, but 2-5, it's the beginning. You can still make a comeback.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's never kind of too late, not in this one. I mean, the way I look at it though, as well, I would have actually liked a bit of a hunt out from Kazakhstan. They got plenty of money to work with. I don't know if they'd realized maybe how bad the Uzbekistan economic situation is, but with 3 staying alive, they can buy it back in. If it was only 2 or 1, it would have been a bit of a different story. Let's see though. 5-2. At least Kazakhstan are making this competitive. At the very least, we're seeing a side that we saw yesterday and maybe expected in towards this one. It's maybe taking a little bit of a while, but now starting to get going. Consecutive rounds, consistency. The big thing we're looking towards on this T side. Uzbekistan, they're back into the buy, and of course, keeping the AWP alive is basically all that really matters for them.
Yeah. It's better late than never here to get back into it. Pumpkin's got the AWP as well, so that's kind of something that I was looking for to see how's that going to be playing out. It is Inferno, so I guess it's significantly more tricky to try and get that AWP, used, especially on the T side perhaps, but doesn't mean you can't do it. Good little flash going over the wall here. Again, it's same setup. 3 people at the B bomb side early on for Uzbekistan. They're really heavy on that defense, and we'll see if Kazakhstan can punish it to try and go for the A bomb side early on.
Quiet. They're waiting for a fight to come through, but again, nothing on offer just yet. Bit by bit. Creeping forward, and it looks like they want to commit towards A once again. And spotted. Pumpkin doesn't hit the shot, though. So now at least one's a known quantity towards mini pit. The question is, do they expect a second up towards balcony? 40 seconds, though. They're going to have to make a move sooner rather than later, and they're going to peek into the AWP. Oh, my God, they do just as Pumpkin turns away.
That is crazy. They're going to be trading their way to start with, but they need to keep it going. IESF alone in the pit. He was looking for the double. We're down to 20 seconds, but they get Seka. Oh, they actually break open the defense. They can plant the bomb now, and they will. I thought for sure that little crossfire between the graveyard and the pit was going to be able to work out a little bit more effectively than that, but it doesn't quite work out. So Kazakhstan trading their way into a bomb plant. And now it's a 2 versus 2 in the after plant. Now, sneaking up with the EWP. This is the big downside normally, is having to retake with it. It's a nice Molotov, though, will force out one of the players, and they might have heard it. I think that's how DSSJ knew that there was someone up there, because you heard the flames from the Molotov on the other side, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Defizer, he gets the headshot and clutches it for Kazakhstan. That's huge.
My God, Kazakhstan are continuing to now put a bit of that pressure on. Liking what I'm seeing. It maybe took them a little while, but they're waking up, and they're making this a competition. It's a good round as well. They don't give themselves a hell of a lot of time when they execute, but they make it work so cleanly. The trades are so effective, and they know they can basically just rely upon the numbers game. It's a big clutch at the tail end. Maybe slightly mistimed, I think, from Uzbekistan in that 1 versus 2 at the tail end. You've got to try and line up your fights, and they don't. Look costly. Now, no real money to work with. Bar a hero rifle in the hands of DSSJ. They've got nothing really on the cards here. Not even going for a bit of a gimmick. I think in these sort of rounds, I like when you've got a bit of a lesser buy, a bit of a gimmick, whether it's a gamble stack of some sort or something just a little bit audacious, like aggression. However, the case. And Icy Blown starts his round out by getting naded, and then the rifle dropped. So I think it's safe to say this one's over before it even starts.
Yeah, hard to disagree with that one. They are doing very, very good work at the moment. Slow start for Kazakhstan, but, you know, they're waking up into it. Going to be the shot for Pumpkin. He's had a couple of those in the last couple of rounds here, so he's starting to get warmed up with the AWP on his own. Rudian on his own, and he will be getting that first kill. It's good. You can upgrade into an AK if you wanted to. He's going to do that, but obviously the bomb's going to be planted. The round is already lost here. It's just a question of doing a little bit of damage, staying alive if you can, and yeah, he's not going to want to fight too much. Although he is already being hunted by pretty much everyone, so they're really aggressive. They really want that AK back. And they'll get it too. Nicely done.
Oh, good. Yeah, can't complain really at all. 5-4, game on. One round in it. These two sides, honestly, for the most part, pretty inseparable right now. And I think in the gun rounds where Kazakhstan is starting to spiral quite positively, times are getting a little bit tough over towards Uzbekistan. This is a map in which maybe only statistically is ever so slightly seen in this favor, but generally in terms of kind of the vibes, so to say, it is seen as a CT-sided map. I mean, it's a team side in which at least most teams prefer. I think because of that, I do get a little concerned. I want to see Uzbekistan at least get up to 6, bare minimum. But, you know, when you start at 5-0, you should be guaranteeing a lead at the turn of the half. And at the moment, they're having to really fight kind of tooth and nail for even the conversation about that. Kazakhstan are spiraling positively. If they can find 5 in a row here, Kazakhstan, they once again break that economy towards the CT side. And we're talking about them stealing away the lead.
Yeah, the game plan is there. And it's Tasman at the moment who's top fragging for them. So just keep this going. Don't slow it down. And you're right. They could take the lead. DSSJ with 12-3. So he's been having himself a very, very cool game so far. Need somebody else to maybe help him out. Still want to see Icy Vlone do a little bit more. We know that he can. There's no question about that. Stretching out. A little bit of a default here on the T side. No real surprises coming their way at the moment. Ooh, nice shot. DSSJ again. He's really been the rock of the team so far.
Pumpkin. DSSJ on either side. Pop flash. He's just a quarter of a second too late on his shot. And he actually couldn't even line up a double there, potentially. Maybe a Klaus in the cards, but it's not to be. Tasman, swing. Looking for a second as well. So confident, but maybe overconfident. IT phone or trade.
We'll see if that's going to be enough in the round here. Some of them are a little bit low on that CT side, so sure, they might have a one-man advantage, but Icy Vlone, good headshot. Black Magic, that angle was so punishing for him. Good little flick there. Pumpkin doing what he does best. Leaves it a 2-on-3, but sneaking up. Seka, he'll get the headshot on one of them, and it leaves Pumpkin low on health. He's been hurt already. They know that he's inside of the site. And just running him down, yeah. I don't think Pumpkin had any chance there. He just didn't even realize there was a third player on the site already. So Uzbekistan living through this absolute must-win round for themselves where they couldn't afford to give it up. And they were able to secure a little bit of a two-round lead here. So huge news.
Yeah, without it as well, I think they could have been in a lot of trouble. The fact that they've got it, now they at least can say, okay, this is a decent half. There's no, complaints about it. Yes, if you start 5-0 and you only get one more for the rest of the half, you can talk about maybe the little kind of pinch of salt and saying, well, it could have been better. But regardless, you're looking at a bit more of like a macro sensitive view. 6 rounds on Seaside Inferno, more than happy with. We'll see though. Is it going to be enough in long-term side of things? Have to wait and see. Up around that corner, flashes a beaut. Defies will open things up. Nice opener towards top B. And of course, already with this top card control, they don't have to overcommit here. They've got a very decent amount of map control, and it forces Uzbekistan to rotate.
Yeah, and that means they're split in the map, which could be very unpleasant. Oh, he's set up with the AWP. Either one of them was going to get the shot there. Seka goes down. I think there was an AK train on that corner as well, so they were so ready for some sort of aggression, and it works out for them. Now they're headed towards Rudian, and he is very much alone. Getting shot at the back. It's a long spray for Tasman, but who cares? They got the job done, and again, I think there's no reason for Uzbekistan to fight this too hard. They have not that much money in the bank, and they still have another round to play in the half here, so you got to save these guns.
You're right. Icy Vlone. Anything on the tail end for him and DSSJ? Well, just now, Icy went hoping to keep hold of this rifle. I don't know if he will. There's a little bit of a move coming back towards mid, which might catch him in rotation, but that's all they're really going to have to work with. It's going to be a bit of a tough bite heading in towards the final round of the half, and it's tough. It is tough. Kazakhstan have really been able to spiral actually quite positively. If this goes 6-6, I think it's not a bad way to end the half. Feels relatively fair. Icy Phone gets caught. Yeah, and that'll be 6-5. Honestly, if this ends 6-all, I think that's sort of deserved. Both of them have had their kind of moments where they've had these really decent periods of success. Neither of them have been able to kind of break each other's, I guess, snowball kind of that we've seen. But all in all, 6-all, I mean, still sets this game up to be sort of anybody's.
I think also, to be fair, sometimes it's never mind the scoreline, it's also just about having a story you can tell yourself, right? So, if whether it's 6 rounds or 5 rounds, just that you can say, well, we had a bit of a slow start. It happens, but just forgetting that, we got back into the game and we feel pretty good and we're just going to do better in the second half. So they can claim that no matter what here. I do love this. Seka running it down, the MP9, and they get another headshot onto the Pfizer. It's a double MP9 push towards Banana, and it works. They didn't have that much to work with, so you've got to try something, and this was a really good call.
The corner, Eugen, just a little jiggle peek and hips away. Oh, just not going to come through. One player spotted in towards pit. Going to break open this smoke. Rotate comes through. They could catch a brackets player. Pumpkin. That's a quick shot. Lovely shot from him. And it will be now back onto a 3 versus 3. But they're wrapping B. And there's nobody's home. Because they over-rotated.
Yeah. Pumpkin is so well aware of what's going on. That's a very, very nice shot. And the call coming out here for Kazakhstan, you're right. Slipping through CT spawn towards the B bomb side. And absolutely nobody's ready to catch them over on the side. So, huge success so far, at least in terms of getting the bomb site. We'll see if they can actually win the round. Still, they're going to get the headshot there. Black Magic, it's not bad at all. He comes back for more, and he will close out the round. A beautiful triple kill will tie up the game at 6-6. So, Kazakhstan making a great comeback here, winning 6 out of the last 7 rounds and a half. That's pretty impressive.
It is. It's not bad at all. I mean, honestly, now at 6-all, I think you could probably, if you had to, again, look at this and pick maybe a bit of a favorite, you'd probably be tempted to once again say Kazakhstan, just because while both teams had hot streaks and the score is even, the most recent hot streak was Uzbekistan. Tail end of that half, very good work from them. So I'm looking at that and saying, this is maybe where they can do a bit of a continuation, and they move on towards what is generally seen as the easiest side of the CT side as well. So a pistol round here could be a big indicator of maybe both of these two sides are kind of feeling at the halfway point.
Yeah, no question about it. We're gonna learn a lot from this one pistol round. So flash and a smoke on the CT side, but I mean, in general, there's not that much utility in play. Not even on the C side either. No Molotovs or anything else being picked up. So it's going to be down to the raw mechanics of the Glocks and the USPs mainly. DSS sneaking into the middle. Not able to find anyone yet, so a little bit of a quiet start in that sense. Some clicks are coming out here with the USB, but no real connection at the moment.
Seka, fun of the first. As Forky's falls, Kazakhstan want to try and respond well, and they do, with Tasman finding one of his own, but he very quickly gets traded. So long control's still there. It looks like they want to finish towards A, and the site itself is open.
Oh, make the jump around. That's a nice shot. It's Region just running down Black Magic, and that means they're going to be able to get the bomb planted here. The Pfizer and Pumpkin could make an argument that you just look for some extra kills here. I doubt you're going to be able to walk onto the site and just get 4 kills and defuse the bomb, especially with no kit and no smoke. So they are kind of moving closer, and that could also just be like, who cares? We're gonna do our best here. But yeah, if you wanted to optimize the round, you probably just look for some exits and try and get some more cash on their side. DSSJ with an absolutely stunning game so far. He's going to get the last one in there. A triple in the pistol makes it a 17-5 scoreline for him personally. It's quite something.
Yeah, he's having a whale of a time in the server. No two ways about it. He's a very talented individual. That's a big round for Uzbekistan to take. A pistol out the gate on T side once again. This is where they can start to spiral. This is a beautiful kind of a indication maybe that Uzbekistan are far from over in this one. Kazakhstan, while the tail end of that first half was much, much better, they look like the only side really in it. Uzbekistan start the T side well. Question now being is, can they really get the big hitters activated? I mean, IESF's been a little quiet for my liking. He had a really good game yesterday, but hasn't been able to be as impactful here. I did say, though, if Uzbekistan are going to win this, it's going to require somebody to get upper 20s towards a 30 bomb, and so far, DSSJ is on for that.
Yeah, he's carrying the team through at the moment. It's really impressive stuff. And again, in the best of one, that you can do that. You don't need a player to go nuclear on 3 maps. It's just the one, and he's done all the work right now. They are gearing up for a little bit of a mid-take here. There's only USPs on the other side, so I mean, yeah, the stack. But even then, even if you walk into the stack, I'm not even sure if they're going to lose the round here. It's just the USPs just can't do much against what's on the other side here.
Yeah, you're right. Even though they may have called the stack right, there surely shouldn't be too much of an upset here. I say that. Maybe it could be a little bit more hard fought, but Mac 10 for 1. Looking for a little more. Pumpkin will get his, but it's a couple of consolation kills, but that's the only word that they are. It's consolations. Simply put, nice and simple. Seka seizes the Pfizer. 2-round lead. So, there's at least the foundations here to work on. I mean, Kazakhstan, we're not going to read too highly into that one, but they know they've got to come in towards this kind of first gun round. They've got to make it stick. If they don't, Uzbekistan can start spiraling quite well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's absolutely on the cards. So, put it down now. Put an end to it before it gets out of control. I think more than anything, put an end to DSSJ before he just keeps this up, because he's really, really running wild with it. So you have to find a way to stop him now. 18-5 at the moment, and if they start to get a lot of money, I mean, they're already doing well. It's an 8-6 lead here.
Let's see. It's not make or break for Uzbekistan, but at the very least, for Kazakhstan, I say, but it does at the very least feel that if we don't see Kazakhstan respond well in this round here, Uzbekistan find 9, and it might actually be a bit of a 2-for-1 because it breaks that economy. So it might actually mean not only 9, but 10. So it's not make or break, but it's so important that Kazakhstan make this round work.
Yeah, I really think so. They've been keeping it close, but I mean, they had to pull off a pretty good comeback at the end of the first half. You don't want to have to do it again, right? You want to kind of keep this up where you're within striking distance. You're not like 6 rounds behind, because that's such a big gap to cover. And it was cool that they did it once, but it's not a reliable formula to try and pick up maps and rounds here. Smoke off towards Arch, so trying to deny a little bit of CT information. Curiously, as we can tell, the bomb is still at the bottom of that T ramp, so that's a very strong indication that they are right now just looking for information, looking to make a little bit of a push of it and manipulate the CT defense a bit, although that's not working out so well at the moment, because Region's been taken down. It's Pumpkin sneaking into it. Yeah, now they might just be forced to go for a bit of a split almost, because they do have the SSJ sneaking into the middle. If he can win this fight against Tasman, who knows what could happen. The pressure is on here as they try and make their way around the corner. Forkies goes down, but Tasman will win the fight against the SSJ. That's huge. They have a chance now to recover the round on the CT side.
Oh, the bomb goes down. The bomb actually goes down. That's maybe a chance. 1v3 is tough by no means, but I see Flowing going to try and make this a possibility. However, Smoke meeting him over towards Banana is not going to help. Has to try and play through this. This is risky, and he only gets 1. So it is going to be Kazakhstan winning the round. One they had to win, but a bomb plant of 3 kills is still going to keep that economy in check. So at the very least, not actually the worst round in the world, in kind of the worst way to lose round in the world for the Uzbekistan side. But Kazakhstan, they needed that, and they got it. And that's basically all we care about.
You want to say that at a minimum, that was a clutch couple of kills here for the Pfizer. You could see him just, even if the bomb did get planted, like that's still so much damage with the MP9. But overall, I think also Tasman winning the fight in the middle against the SSJ made a big difference. So yeah, a couple of things that are really working out for them here. Not at all bad.
Yeah, I'm going to complain. Eyes back in both ways. A little bit of a hit in a sense to Uzbekistan, who now come in with the Mac 10, the Galil, and the rest, but still MP9 on the other side, so relatively even in that sense. First kind of 30 seconds. Poking and prodding, no real kind of fight actually taken. Not properly, at least for now. Kazakhstan, if they win this though, this is where they once again do exactly what they did towards that first half, where maybe it's a little bit of a slow start, but then they find their form.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the plan here, just to cement the economy, keep it going. There's almost no gap between these two teams at the moment. It's a very, very doable comeback here for Kazakhstan, no question. MP9 is still a formidable weapon on this map. People underestimate how much damage you can do on a map like Inferno with it, so wouldn't be too nervous about using that one. 40 seconds on the clock. What I might be nervous about is the Pfizer on his own. He's going to put down that smoke, but again, that's gone at about the 20-second mark, and Uzbekistan, they might not even wait for that. They might just say, you know what, you can put up the smoke if you want, but we're going to flash our way through and just go for it anyway as it fades. Yeah, so they're waiting for that. It's got about 5 more seconds left. Backup is being called for, so it's a good rotation coming in here from Kazakhstan. They kind of know the timings as well. But here we go. Uzbekistan ready to initiate. And the Pfizer, he's very lonesome. It's a sick flashbang that was thrown in there from Forky's on the other side. But they both died trying to defend the bomb site.
Bomb goes down. Tough retake here as well. I mean, granted, a lot of damage has been dealt towards Uzbekistan, but it's definitely not going to be easy. No two ways about it. They're going to have to really dig deep for this. But ICFlone gifts away a fight as Pumpkin finds his. How low? Both of them are to a degree. This is not going to be the easiest one. Man, swing on the corner. The SSJ finds one. He's got to be set up now. 1v2. Got to isolate both, and he can't. They've got time. They've got a kit. And Kazakhstan find yet another big round and another big clutch.
That seemed like a very, very risky push coming out from ICFlone. It's one of those things where you're like, is it too much confidence, or is it a little bit of pressure, mounting? I was starting to feel like you have to make those plays to try and win it. But either way, it looked like it backfired a little bit on them. So great news for Kazakhstan. They're going to be able to tie up the game 8-8 now. It did cost them quite a bit, right? It's a round where they only survived with 2 players. So in that sense, it's definitely expensive. But still, I've got to say, yeah, not necessarily a bad game for them here. Tasman playing very well at the moment. Defizer playing well. Nobody's catching up to DSSJ at the moment, but yeah, that could still happen.
True. I'm not going to count it out just yet. But yeah, this round, unfortunately, for Uzbekistan, no real buy. I'm not expecting a lot here. If they can make it a little bit expensive, they get a bomb plan. They can take silver linings, but realistically, this one should be pretty simple.
Yeah, it should. It's time. Deep smoke on Banana. That's always so miserable on the T side. Oh, and a grenade in the middle. Did that land right on top of them? Yeah, it did. Look at the damage. That is so much. Oh, absolutely wrecked behind that one. You've got to be thinking, what do we even do to recover this now? I mean, we just all got bombarded. Tasman with a good little spray down here. But they should not ever get the bomb planted in this round.
Surely. Let's go eerily quiet as we hit to the 45-second mark. They're trying to pop in. Okay. The pistol of Pumpkin is beautiful. Uzbekistan, I thought they would have been done, more than enough to be able to overwhelm him. But my God, he says, you got your pistols, I'll bring mine out. And that is crisp. These shots are beautiful from Pumpkin.
Yeah.
There is something quite magical about watching AWPers on pistol. They're just always, that first bullet accuracy is just ridiculous.
That is so sick. What a well-played round. Yeah, they kind of pushed them that way with the smoke at the bottom of Banana, and then they walked right into the HE at top mid, and then they cleaned out after it. So Kazakhstan are in the lead now, 9-8. Uzbekistan's still able to buy in this one, so it's not a complete disaster yet, but you've got to imagine that this is starting to feel a bit scary, if nothing else, right? Like getting to that stage of the game where it's like, oh, wait a minute, guys, we're kind of we're running out of round leads here, and also we're running out of money pretty soon.
It's bad for the smoke. Want to extend? Oh, I see. Goes for a bit of a gimmicky play for himself, and it works, but Tasman answers back with 3. What is happening?
Oof. Turned his back in towards the boiler room, so he wasn't quite ready for it, but they know what's coming next. Forkies, is he gonna go through the smoke? He's inside of it, just waiting. Bomb being planted. Does he want to risk it? He's going to try and grenade his way through, but he doesn't actually run it. He just throws the grenade and maybe try and slow them down. On the other side, Defizer snuck on up. Does he spot anyone here? I feel like maybe he could have caught Icy Vlone if he was a little bit faster with it, but for now, the CTs, you could see trying to coordinate this retake. If they get this one, they might have a chance to win the whole map. Defizer gets Icy Vlone, and it leaves on his own in the corner. He tries to pre-fire it. Smoke is up in front, and Defizer, what kind of game is he playing here? He does have a kit, so he's got a little bit of time, and he's got the headshot as well. We'll find the bomb, and it'll be the round for Kazakhstan. It's real close, but they do get the job done.
Yeah, that was hella close. So maybe a little bit too close, but it's Kazakhstan now who find themselves with a 2-round lead, and we're talking about getting towards the potentially even tail end of the game. There is the world of a bye here for Uzbekistan. I'm interested to see whether they even opt for the force, and it looks like they might be tempted to do so. Yeah, you could have a little bit of attack pause though before we get into it. A little bit of a conversation to be had, and I'm assuming here by Uzbekistan. So we look at this now for them. They're still within kind of reaching distance, but it does feel very much like Kazakhstan are towards that tail end. They kind of got a couple more hurdles to get over, and they've got this map and the series under their belts. You know, they're going for a force here, it looks like, at the very least. And if that is the case, it's kind of make or break. If you don't find this, Kazakhstan should basically get all the way up and towards match point.
Oh my God, yeah. 2-round gap. But you're right. The money is really what is causing a little bit of trouble here on the Uzbekistan side. And also for DSSJ, right? Like, he's still playing an amazing game, but one of the issues is if you're getting into the kind of lead and having a lot of strength at the start of a game, and it's partly because one player is doing really well, if they fall off even just a little bit, it could cost your team absolutely everything. So we'll see if he can keep up the power, if he can have another couple of stunning rounds. But it does feel like, you know, on the other side, Tasman is actually matching him for kills now. Both of them at 20, so they've got a little bit of a battle brewing between the two of them there.
Yeah, it's true. Pumpkin. You're going back on towards site. Team for his opportunity, but again, not a huge amount on the cards here. I say that. Icy Vlone tries to do the same sort of gimmick, and this time doesn't work out for him. Gets caught, and doing so, that might already be enough, right? He was getting pretty confident. His force by falls apart, and I think they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it does feel that way. A little bit of a gimmicky setup at the top of Banana as well, with Defizer tucked in the corner. He doesn't have any grenades, so you've got to wonder, him and Forkies, can they come up with something? He's got plenty of grenades behind him. We'll see. You have to win the first fight. Your teammate can throw grenades, but it would have been so much more efficient if he would have got the kill first, and then Forkies could have thrown out some nades to help out, but don't think that setup is necessarily that well thought through. Oh, some team damage, and they're burning alive. They got to get out of the smoke somehow. They walk right into the EWP of Pumpkin. He's going to get one of them. Forky's on the other side, and this defense is once again working very well. You could see the panic happening there on the Uzbekistan side, and that will give them a 3-round deficit.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm trying to look and see whether there's any chance of you know, Kazakhstan, if they were to lose there, if it changes, I don't think it would actually even matter. I was looking across the match pages and seeing what the kind of, if every single scenario plays out, I think Kazakhstan, even if they were to lose, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Uzbekistan struggling, the force buy didn't work. They're going to go back in, though, to another force buy and hope that this one works out for them. I don't know, dude. This feels like Kazakhstan are on the road to seeing this off. The red carpet being rolled out, I think, a little bit. For them, we said they were the favorites coming in to a degree, just because they're a team. They've got the, you know, what do you call it? You know, everything. They've got the defaults down to a T. They've got the executes and the retakes. Everything's slotting itself into place. Uzbekistan, they rely a little bit too much on the individuals, but I guess that's what you probably expect from a side who are a little bit more of a mix.
You know what? It's made for a fun game, though. Like, it's been really cool to see DSSJ come up with so many cool rounds, but ultimately, yeah, you want to try and win here. Pumpkin having himself a little bit of a good time, and through the smoke, Forkies gets 2. He didn't really see what he was shooting at there, but that's really sick. One player left alive, not for long. Forkies having himself another great round. Triple in the round for him, 2 of them for the smoke, and it gives Kazakhstan 12 rounds. So they are looking really hot at the moment. Uzbekistan left in the dust a little bit at the moment, and I don't know what's left to be said here. Kazakhstan has just kind of emerged as the better team at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, the second half has been really good. They spiraled very well at the tail end of that first half. They spiraled very well at the end here of the second. And it's kind of just basically a replica of what we saw in towards the first, but without the small mistakes at the start from Kazakhstan. They were able to kind of find their form and kickstart the tempo much earlier. Uzbekistan, now or never, it's 3 force buys in a row for them. And of course, this one, they have to do it, but good stuff. Oh, let's get caught, in all fairness. The SSJ will get one of his own.
Yeah, it's now or never. If you want to recover this game, then you need 4 rounds in a row. Double push towards the bottom of Banana, but there is someone holding it. It's on the other side. He's got the bombs. He's going to be very careful. He will look at the 1 kill there, but if he'd gone down, that would have been the bomb lost somewhere very nasty. It's Tasman taking a double kill for himself, so somehow we're right back into a 3 versus 3. Just as I say that, though, Icy Blown opening it up. So it's just 1 player left in the site, and it's Black Magic getting a little bit nervous, I think, and started the walk forward. Is going to get himself killed.
Yeah, hate to see it. The Pfizer is all that's left, so staying alive for at least a little bit. Uzbekistan, not done just yet, but at the very least, bit by bit, keeping the conversation alive. Bomb plant, 3 alive. That don't mean money to work with, to reinvest in fully. AK's coming through. I don't think they'll have enough for an AWP in play, so DSSJ might have to continue. Actually, I say that. There is an AWP towards top mid, which DSSJ got the opening kill on, so he should be able to, if he wants, go and pick up Pumpkin's AWP, if he remembers. I'm sure he will. I'm sure it's probably a thought process. Maybe? No, it doesn't look like it. So, I mean, I spent upgrades from his Galil to the AK, but yeah, there was an AWP towards top mid. They opted against going to pick it up, so maybe you want to play a little bit quicker and say, DSSJ, this is kind of how you want to go about it. Play the rifles. Yeah, I'm curious whether that's maybe just they forgot they even got that kill. It was quite hectic when he did get it. Maybe he didn't even realize it was an AWP, in all fairness. But doesn't really matter. Buy comes through. There's enough rebuy back in for Kazakhstan. They got plenty of money left, at least for this round. Long term, though, they haven't. So if Uzbekistan make it 2 for 2 and they take a 10th here, it breaks the econ, and then we are actually legitimately talking about overtime.
It's in the cards still. Nice shot from Seka. We'll open it up, but Pumpkin's there in the return. Good grenade there. Oh, I think he jumped right over the shot. That could have been absolutely lethal. But so far, so good. 4 versus 4. Deep grenade there to chip away a little bit of damage. Not a terrible amount, but, you know, keep them honest back there. Pumpkin with that AWP still doing remarkable work. He's been a really, really fun player to watch once again today. It looks like they almost decided on the A-bomb side. They have a great position here. They can go for it, but there's a slight crossfire setup potentially. The problem is one of them is the AWP, but if they can get 4 keys back towards library, between the pit and library, I think they should be able to shut down this push out of the apartments.
You're right, Pumpkin. Just don't overextend. Should be okay. Jump around towards the side. Pumpkin gets 1. 4 keys, one of his own. This might be the beginning of the end as 4 keys dancing around the site, gets a double. And DSSJ, he's got it all to do. 1v3, and I think asking just a little bit too much for him. Swing, find, drop, and Kazakhstan deliver. 13th on the board. 13-9. It's not a bad showing from Uzbekistan, but the favorites come in towards this matchup and make it look good. Only a best of 1 as well, and I think with that being said, that's 100% guaranteed now that Kazakhstan will be qualifying, finishing first. They're going to go 4-0. That's all their games played as well. So yeah, it's 100% confirmed that they will be making their way towards the Asia Championships in Chengdu, which is sick. I think the last conversation is basically between Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. Who play next?
Oh, okay. That's pretty exciting. I mean, I don't know. They had a chance, right? They did everything right to try and win this best of 1. They had such a great start, you know, up 5 or 6-0. But once they let Kazakhstan back in the game, they never really let go. So, I mean, for Uzbekistan, you've got to say, I mean, this is not a bad showing. Hopefully we'll get some highlights and we can get, to revisit some of the kills there. DSSJ at the start of it, I mean, he should be proud of himself, right? He did so much work to get his team close to a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, really, really solid stuff coming through. I mean, we really got to see what actually started so well for towards Uzbekistan. The big thing for them is, I think, you know, it's kind of what you do see with mixers all the time is pretty momentum heavy. I think when momentum's good, they can spiral quite positively. They're snowballed, all the good stuff we like to talk about. But when momentum's against them, I think they really struggle to kind of claw things back into their favor. And they've really kind of die on their sword a little bit, which is this super puggy, quite aggro, quite individual kind of based style of play. It's why I always try and back teams in these sort of matchups, because you may have individuals popping off. DSSJ looked incredible, right? Really, really solid. However, can an individual keep up that sort of consistency? I don't know. And how deep does the strat book go in a mix? Not very. And that was the big thing for Kazakhstan. They just had that considerably better synergy in my eyes, which was enough for the win.
Yeah, no, it is a good depth of strength there for Kazakhstan, right? It's hard to be down that much, but you trust in the process, you keep some confidence, and you can make it back from almost any scoreline. It was really Tasman who was carrying them for most of the comeback, but as the longer it went on, the more Pumpkin got lined up and heated up, and that obviously made a huge difference. So just a lot of good individuals for Kazakhstan. I think going into Chengdu, but I think even going beyond that, I could see Kazakhstan qualifying all the way to Riyadh. I hope they do, because again, they're a fun team to watch, so that'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a cool one to see. No two ways about it. I think, fortunately, you might even get the chance to speak to Kazakhstan as well, which would be absolutely sick, you know, because they are guaranteed. No, they're going 4 for 4, didn't pick up a loss all the way throughout this tournament. I mean, the results have been pretty sick as well. I mean, at a 13-6 over Kyrgyzstan to kickstart the tournament, then in a 13-0 over Tajikistan, of course, which we casted, and then they won 13-1 over Turkmenistan. So, for the most part, a pretty decent showing. I mean, Uzbekistan were the closest team to them, 13-9, but no side even able to get double digits against Kazakhstan. Just shows how strong they are. I think they actually will be a real contender when we get towards the Asian Championships in Chengdu. They have to be probably one of those teams that we look at and say, I mean, man, like, they're so dominant, at least domestically, that they have a really decent chance of getting their way towards Riyadh. And I think if I'm right in saying it's 5 spots to go to Riyadh from the Asian Championship. So there's a decent chance they could be in that top 5. I don't think that's an awful thing to say. You know, you got Team Malaysia already locked in. China are going to host a team, and actually their team should be very scary. They have a lot of talent in China. But then now you got Kazakhstan there as well. I mean, already pretty damn decent.
Yeah, I would so far definitely pick Kazakhstan to be one of the teams that could make it through. That seems like I don't want to say a no-brainer, but it seems like that's a likely outcome here, which is very cool. Again, I hope that they are going to be represented in a big way. And, you know, like, they already have the experience. They already have some LAN experience. So, like, we know that they're going to be interesting to watch. Yeah, good comeback and just kind of, I don't know if it was the expected result. I think this could have been a different result, but they just needed one more of DSSJ's caliber to maybe cement this one. They just didn't have it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at the stats on the tail end of that one. Pretty cool to see how long the game lasted. 34 minutes and 20 seconds. I think that's maybe about average, I'd say. I always think CS2 maps about 35-ish minutes. So yeah, pretty much kind of spot on in that sense. Coming through, I think some of the names are a little bit wrong. But all in all, it was a very decent showing. We got to see DSSJ maybe highlight, at least individually, himself. He looked very, very good. But I guess petered out a little bit, and that is the issue. Can you always rely on a guy to be consistently doing all this damage? I don't know. But in the end, it's a very good win coming through from Kazakhstan. And I think we have an interview ready as well. I think we have the Pfizer joining us to see how they're feeling off the back of that one, which was a very decent victory. So we can bring him in towards the interview, kind of pick his brains, see how he's feeling all in all. First of all, the Pfizer, brother, thank you very much for joining us once again. How you doing?
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
We can.
Hello. Thank you, guys. All good. We happy that we qualified to Chengdu.
Yeah, how does that feel, right? You know, you're now qualified. You're going to an international LAN. For you guys who've been kind of grinding out under tour for a while now, how does that feel now to be able to represent Kazakhstan in an international LAN, playing against kind of all the best teams in Asia?
It's good. We're very happy. We won the good teams in the Central Asia qualifiers. Very good teams. Team Uzbekistan, Team Kyrgyzstan, very individually good players. Team Uzbekistan players playing for 1 win, Arcret, Forza, they very good. But they have one thing, they are mixed. We are team, we are playing like team. Some rounds, you know, and it's helping for us. I really proud of my team. They're very good players. Tasman, Pumpkin, Forkis, and Black Magic. I'm proud of them. I thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, the team looks really, really good. I'm so curious. Can you try and explain to us how come Counter-Strike has such a long history in Kazakhstan? Like, you guys have produced some top-level players throughout the history of Counter-Strike. How come that is?
We are playing only Kazakhstan tournaments now. We're winning all tournaments in Kazakhstan. We're trying our best, but we need one thing. It's bootcamp in Europe, maybe Serbia or maybe Russia. And if we go to bootcamp, I think we will be in major. We'll see.
Okay,
Nice.
big statement for you guys as well. I know in the past you've had players from Kazakhstan who play European tournaments. What's that like? I remember casting teams like 100 Ping Gods, for example, with Sorrow and those kind of guys, Winter, who, you know, I'm sure the ping's pretty high. Is it doable to play on European servers, or is it just a little bit too hard?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, just saying, for people in Kazakhstan, for players like yourself, is it possible to play European tournaments in Tier 2 and all the rest, or is the ping just a little bit too high?
Playing Europe tournaments with 100 ping is very, very hard. You can win. We can win two teams, but you will lose for good teams. I think it's very hard. We are trying our best. We played a lot of tournaments, a lot of qualifiers for Europe tournaments, but we played bad. 70% it was pink. We lose duels, you know. It's very bad for us.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We super appreciate it. Congratulations again with the victory. It was cool to see you guys play. Really impressive Counter-Strike. So yeah, Neo, you got any last questions, or are we good to go?
All good with me, brother. Well played. Congratulations, and yeah, see you in China.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
And these are the stats. There we go. The correct stats from that game. Kazakhstan with a 13-9 victory. Really, really nicely done. 1,022 kills. He was pretty crisp, right? He was doing pretty well. I mean, Pumpkin, we highlighted him off the back of yesterday's strong performance, but Tasman surprised me. He looked very good.
Yeah, he really did. It kind of made me thought. He said like, oh, they would love to try and get a chance to boot camp somewhere in Europe or Eastern Europe. That seems like that would be a great community project. If there was a chance to get these guys like a sponsored boot camp somewhere, that'd be sick. To get them some extra experience. Like, I feel like that could be a cool community project if people are into it. I might try and see if I can pitch that to somebody and just be like, all right, can we get these guys like a 5 people, get them to Serbia or something like that, set them up and get them to play. Like, that could be really cool. Let's see if we can find a way to do that. That'd be interesting. But either way, definitely a solid lineup for them. And congratulations, obviously. I look forward to seeing them play in China. I think that I think they can go really, really far in this season of IESF. So we'll see how that goes.
I agree. And just to update those who maybe been following along and know that this next round of game is pretty damn important. Kyrgyzstan beat Tajikistan 13-10. So that does mean there's now a real conversation to be had. Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan both find themselves 2-1. So they're playing off against each other next. Winner goes towards China. It's as simple as that. Loser, unfortunately, will not be able to make it. It's, there's no ties here. So one best of one between those two to basically decide who goes to Chengdu. Is really what it's all about.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if it wasn't Uzbekistan, but we've been surprised already, so anything could still happen. Kyrgyzstan coming up with more than we were expecting. That's very, very cool. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that they're playing so well. Up next, that's the game, we haven't seen Kyrgyzstan play yet, so I'm quite interested. We are going to head to a break before we get into that game, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.